What's going on, guys? Imagery here, and we're back with another video. And today we're going to be talking about why Dess has to be the knight. And I have something at the end that I haven't really seen anyone talk about yet. So yeah, I just want to get straight into it. Chapter 3 and 4 were really good and really fun, and I can't really get over it. And I don't really understand how people don't like 3, but whatever. That's not the point of the video. So as you can see on the left side, these are like tweets. A lot of the stuff in this slideshow is stuff that I've like seen on Twitter. But stuff that I already knew, but I just like saw on Twitter again, and they so kindly got all the information together. So basically, if you don't know who Dess is, she's Noelle's older sister who went missing. We don't really know where she went. People don't mention her a lot, and she seems to be kind of a touchy subject around town. The only people to mention her have been Rudy, Noelle, and Tenna. Tenna confirms her full name is December. And basically, she seems very sporty. She seems like she played baseball maybe because of the baseball moon from chapter 2. And then also, Noelle says that Dess smacked Chris with a wiffle bat. So, I feel like the wiffle bat thing didn't really confirm that she liked baseball or had something to do with baseball, but the baseball moon and this one at the bottom here, just holding a cracked baseball bat, really does help that idea. So basically, I mean, as you can see right here, the wiffle bat looks like what the knight is holding, and like I think it does turn into some sort of like sword machete thing whenever the knight puts it to their side. But I do think that is definitely meant to parallel bat, like, because that sprite you see on the bottom with the sword, and then the one next to it, the one at the top with the bat. Those look like two different things, and I feel like that's on purpose. So yeah, I'm gonna go to the next slide. So yeah, this next slide is more looking at what the knight looks like and how it's posing. So I feel like the crossed arms things, because I do think some people think it's Carol, and I think there's still a chance it could be Carol, but with the evidence that I see here, I do still think it's Dess. And I think it's, in my opinion, I think it's a better story if it's Dess, and we will also get into that in a minute. But the top left pose of like crossing the arms, like really seems like an angsty like teenager, like, you know. I feel like Carol could maybe do that pose, but that was like the bottom left pose that's a little more like I don't know what you call it, but I don't know if I'd call that pose fruity, but I'd call it like, you know, like doing too much maybe, or just like, you know, striking like a cool pose. I feel like Carol would not hit that pose, in my opinion. And then there's this like little like thing I just saw like earlier, like Dess's Nest baseball bats. I've heard like the Dess Nest thing. I think that was a MatPat video, maybe. I don't know if actually that was MatPat. I think no, that was someone else. Never mind. Someone else said like Dess is similar to Nest because of like baseball bats and stuff. And like apparently something in Mother or whatever. I haven't played it, so I don't know. But yeah, I just thought I'd put that there just to see. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that. So this is my next thing. I don't know if everyone fully agrees with this, but in my opinion, I think like Dess and Asriel were probably dating or something, or liked each other in some way, because of like these things that I have on screen right here. Dess had Asriel's jacket. Asriel's retainer is in Dess's room, and also Dess has his shirt in her closet. And it just like seems like it could be a thing, because it was always like they were a friend group. It was Dess, Asriel, Chris, and Noelle, and they were like this little friend group when they were kids. And again, it really reminds me of Amori, and I made a theory on that, and this might honestly support that a little bit more. The fact that Dess and Asriel are kind of like Hiro, maybe Hiro and Mari from Amori, if you know. But yeah, to the next slide. These are really interesting parallels that I also saw someone else say. These two attacks from Undertale look almost identical, and they're kind of like the secret boss attacks at the end, like their final attacks, which I think it does like go with that. But they do look very similar here, these two. The way it like goes out like this and it goes out like that, and like the stuff like being sucked in and then like thrown out, and then same with the knight. But then the other thing to me that's really interesting is this. So I think people know probably Burn of Despair more. I feel like it's more of an, I wouldn't call it an underrated track. I just think people don't really listen to it because it's short and it's just like this little loop thing. So yeah, you hear that there, it goes. I don't really know how to do it, but it's like that sound. And then listen to the beginning of the Knight's song. I feel like they're not exact, but I feel like they're invoking the same type of sound, if you know what I mean. And also on top of that, the Knight has like the, because I know this is like just the chase, right? But it has that little wow, and that like sounds like when Omega Flowey's coming in, kind of like the alarm. I don't really know if that's like exactly what it's supposed to be doing, but it does sound very similar. And I think like that's very interesting if, you know, like they are, you know, like dating or whatever, or they're like heavily related to each other. And also like these designs and like the poses they're both hitting here is like really similar. Like they're hitting like the same type of like pose. Whoops. Why is it playing both? Okay, anyways. This is the other thing that I saw, and it's the fact that we know the this fight has a lot of clearly rainbow imagery, a lot of rainbow aesthetics and like flashing rainbow stuff, right? The same thing goes for the roaring, and I feel like I haven't seen this anywhere either. Whenever you're fighting the Knight, it's kind of hard to tell in this, but this is, yeah, right here you can see it. There's like a little rainbow stuff behind the Knight here, and the fountain is glowing different colors. Like it's very slow on the fountain, but it's definitely there, and it's also behind the Knight here, which is very interesting as well. So that's why, if you go to the next slide, or well, yeah, I'll get to that in a second. I forgot, sorry. This is my like most interesting thing that I'm looking at here is what Ralsei says in the Dark World once you fight the like evil Gerson in Susie's fountain is, he says, darkness pattern after the memory of a loved one tend to only appear in very specific darknesses. And that's why I think Dess made the fountain. You could have an argument for Carol being like, oh well, Carol might have knew Gerson or whatever, but I think what Ralsei is saying is that when you make a dark fountain, if you know that person or have a connection with that person, then they could be revived potentially, and that is why Gerson is in the Knight's fountain, is because Susie didn't know Gerson at all, you know? And that's why, and then on the right I have like the evidence that Gerson was probably Asriel and Dess's teacher when they were in school, because it says that Miss Alphys was replaced, or Miss Alphys replaced Gerson. So that means like when Asriel and Dess were in school, they would have had Gerson as a teacher. So my idea is maybe this is kind of like separate from all that, because I think maybe that like Asriel is like the main thing of Undertale, like he's the main focus of Undertale, and I think that maybe Dess is the main focus of Deltarune, and like, and then that's why like they're in like a relationship or something, or they're just heavily connected. Maybe they don't have to be dating or whatever, but I feel like there's just so much stuff that we have right now that could support it. And I don't know if this like flowchart little thing actually works fully for Dess, because I'm not sure like what the pattern is going to be or what the order could be. Like I thought maybe this the Knight one could be here, but I think like maybe she is dead, or maybe something happened to her and she's like in the bunker, and the Knight is like the Flowey version. The Knight is like the Flowey of Deltarune, where in the sense of you see the Knight and it's supposed to be based off of this dead person, or maybe she's dead, maybe she's not, and then it like turns into something crazy later and you fight it, because obviously we're gonna get another Knight fight that's actually harder. The Knight one is really hard. I did beat it and it took a while, but yeah, I think it'll turn into something else later down the line once we learn more about Dess, once we finally see her. And because we never actually see her in the light world, which again is proof for either Carol or Dess. But yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much all I've found so far on Dess, but I really just wanted to make a quick video like putting everything together on all of the evidence for Dess, because I feel like it probably is Dess, and there is a good amount of evidence for Carol too, I won't lie. But I feel like Toby did this on purpose, because this is going to be like what we're gonna eat for the next year. And I think we are well fed for the next year before chapter 5 comes out in 2026. I'm so excited for the next chapter. These 2 chapters were so good. And yeah, I'm really excited to see where the future goes. And I just feel like Dess being the knight is so much cooler to me, because I really like the idea of like both Dess and Asriel having their god forms and they're like together. I just think it's funny. And also one other little thing is that there's a little like hole on the hands of the knight and it kind of looks like gastered, which is interesting. But yeah, if you guys know anything else or have any other evidence, put it in the comments or just something, I don't know, or like the video, or share it with people that you think might know anything about it. And yeah, if you just want to show people this video because you think this is the night, I feel like this is a good spot where all the evidence is. But yeah, anyways, I'm just like saying stuff now, so I'm just gonna end the video. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment below, all that other stuff, and I'll see you guys later.